We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
There was a girl on Horn Island on July the 4th. Her name is Katie. Until this video, nobody covering Nolan Wells had said that name out loud. She was the last person to speak with Nolan before he disappeared. Her sister came forward publicly and confirmed it. And what Katie's family says happened in those final minutes on that island does not match what Nolan's friends told the world. Not even close. Katie is not the only thing that changed in this case. The pool party photo Benjamin Crump reposted the image that drove nearly 1 million YouTube views in a single night was taken 8 days before Horn Island. And the voice Crump told Good Morning America he believed was Nolan's demanding his phone back. You can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, "Give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing?" The person in that video came forward to ABC News. It was not Nolan's voice. It was never Nolan's voice. That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling. 2 pieces of viral evidence, both of them gone. But what was always verified, what existed before any photo, before any video, before any social media post, still does not have an explanation. The family met with the district attorney on July the 15th. A press conference followed and what came out of that meeting is now confirmed. A grand jury has been called. The FBI is in contact with investigators. The phone has still not been turned over to law enforcement. That is exactly where this story begins. If you want the verified story, not the viral one, subscribe and let me know where you're watching from in the comments. Nolan Xavier Wells was 18 years old. On July 4th, he traveled to Horn Island with a group of friends to celebrate Independence Day. His friends left the island that afternoon. He did not. His mother reported him missing later that night and a search involving the Coast Guard, the Department of Marine Resources, and the National Park Service launched the following day. 8-year-old son at 3 Island. On July the 6th, a park ranger found his body in the water just off the island's northwestern tip. The Jackson County coroner officially confirmed the identification, not through visual ID, not through a family member, through dental records. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home. The investigation remains classified as a death, not a homicide. Investigators have said publicly they suspect drowning, but the cause and manner of death have not been officially released. The state autopsy is pending a toxicology report that could still take weeks. That is where the official record stands. For 4 days, the conversation online has been dominated by a single piece of evidence. But today, that evidence has a problem, a serious one. If you're new to this case, subscribe. This one is moving fast, and we are going to stay on top of every verified development. The evidence in question started with a Facebook post. An account whose owner, Nolan's mother, later confirmed she had never spoken to and never met, claimed Nolan had returned from Horn Island alive, that he attended a pool party in Jackson County. An altercation broke out, that he was beaten, that his body was taken back to the water. Almost nobody stopped to ask the most basic question about the photo at the center of all of it. When was it actually taken? A photo surfaced alongside the post uploaded to Instagram by an account with fewer than 1,000 followers, deleted shortly after. The image appeared to show Nolan in a pool surrounded by a group of people. Within hours, it had reached hundreds of thousands of viewers. Then Benjamin Crump, the family's lead attorney, reposted the image to his Instagram. For much of the internet, the theory became fact at that moment. But Crump's caption said something most people skipped past. He wrote that he did not know whether the claims were facts or rumors, his exact framing. They were following all clues until the truth was found. Nolan's mother addressed it publicly as well. She had never spoken to the person behind the post, never met them. The certainty did not come from the attorney. It came from the audience. And the audience was working from a photo nobody had dated. That question had an answer. Rolling Stone published the findings on July the 13th alongside photo metadata obtained from a second independent source. The photo was taken on June the 27th, 8 days before the 4th of July, not July the 5th, not after Horn Island, 8 days before Nolan ever boarded that boat. The party in that image took place in Pass Christian, Mississippi. The person who confirmed the date knew Nolan well. His name is Tristan Shepard, a close friend who spoke to both Rolling Stone and ABC News. Shepard is also black, part of the same friend group. Shepard did not attend the party that night. He had been working all day and had church the next morning, but he knew who was in that photo. He identified them himself, including Nolan. He confirmed they were there that night, and he confirmed it was June the 27th. Rolling Stone corroborated that date through metadata obtained independently from a second source separate from Shepard's account entirely. The photo was not posted as evidence. According to Shepard, it was uploaded as part of a casual photo dump, a collection of recent memories shared online. It went up on July the 5th, but uploaded on July the 5th and taken on July the 5th are two different things. That distinction mattered. Shepard's response to the theory that built itself around that image was not diplomatic. He called it unbelievable. He called it heartbreaking. What the internet held up as proof that Nolan was alive on July the 5th was a photo taken before he ever stepped onto that boat. The first pillar of the viral narrative has collapsed. But the photo was not the only piece of evidence being pointed to. There was also a video. That video surfaced in the days after Nolan was found. Shot from a boat near Horn Island, it captured a voice in what sounded like a heated exchange with someone nearby. Benjamin Crump pointed to that footage on Good Morning America. He described it to ABC News as Nolan and somebody yelling at one another on the boat. You can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, "Give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing?" And said he believed the voice on that recording was Nolan's.
I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe their story, I'm going to stay behind and I'm going to leave my phone. I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone.
Today, the person actually in that video spoke to ABC News. His name is Tristan Shepard, the same close friend who confirmed the pool party photo was from June the 27th. And what he told ABC News directly contradicts what the family's attorney told the country. We did no wrong here and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short. The voice in that video was Shepard's, not Nolan's. That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling. On Good Morning America. Shepard said it plainly. That's the video I am referring to. And that's me yelling. He was not in a dispute with Nolan. He had been in a separate altercation with a stranger and two friends were physically restraining him. According to ABC News, Shepard gave an official statement to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department on Friday. His account is on record with investigators. This is not online commentary. It is an on-record contradiction between the family's lead attorney and an eyewitness who has spoken to law enforcement directly. Let me know in the comments which of these two revelations hits hardest because what comes next is the part most creators never covered. Two pieces of evidence, both introduced after Nolan died, both now contradicted by the same person who was actually present. But the details that existed before any photo, before any video, those still have no explanation at all. Set those two things aside entirely. The photo, the video. Put them down. What remains? Nolan Wells, 18 years old, went to Horn Island on July 4th with friends. His body was found the morning of July the 6th. His identification required dental records, not a visual ID, not a family confirmation, a procedure that typically indicates the body was not immediately recognizable. Hours passed between when the body was discovered and when the public was told it was Nolan and his mother was not the one who made the identification. There is also the Coast Guard. On the night of July 4th, someone in Nolan's group contacted the Coast Guard. According to Capital B News, a friend of Wells made a call to the Coast Guard around 11 p.m. on July 4th. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office did not request Coast Guard assistance until around noon the next day, and a formal coordinated search did not begin until then. NBC News has since obtained audio through an official records request that captures Nolan's friends calling for towing assistance that evening. According to NBC News, the boat had malfunctioned. We're sinking. Can you all please count? And is everybody on board in good health otherwise? Yeah, everybody's off the lake. And CBS News obtained GPS data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources showing exactly where the boat went. The data shows it arrived at the Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19 p.m. on July the 4th. From there, according to the M-Timer report obtained by CBS News, the boat traveled over land described in the report as presumably towed by a vehicle to the Biloxi residences of the boat's owners. The MDMA report ends on July the 5th when the Jackson County Sheriff's Office took over as the lead investigative agency. That is not speculation. That is GPS data from a state agency reported by CBS News. And then there is the phone. Nolan's mother confirmed that when her son was reported missing, his phone was in the possession of one of his friends. A friend who initially told her he had no idea where Nolan was. She later alleged that when she recovered the device, content she would have expected to find simply was not there. That allegation has not been independently verified. But the phone's possession and the initial denial are not disputed. None of this came from a Facebook post. None of it required a viral theory to exist. Every one of these details was sitting in plain sight before any of the speculation began. And then there is the question of who was there and why almost none of them have spoken. There are people who were on Horn Island on July the 4th who have not spoken publicly. That is not a theory. According to Mississippi Today, many of the young people who were at Horn Island that day are afraid to come forward. Not because they have nothing to offer, but because speaking means becoming part of the story. It means being investigated. It means becoming a target. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office has made a public appeal asking anyone with photos, video, or first-hand knowledge from Horn Island on July the 4th to contact investigators. That appeal is not procedural language. It is an acknowledgement. There are accounts investigators have not yet heard. Traston Shepard understood the risk of speaking and came forward anyway. He spoke to ABC News. He clarified the video. He gave an official statement to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department on Friday. And then he told the outlet why he would not do it on camera. Since Nolan's body was found, Shepard said he and others in their friend group have been receiving death threats. The person who stepped forward to correct the record is now being threatened for doing it. The young woman who was with Nolan when his friends left the island has now been publicly identified. Her name is Katie. Her sister Gracie McCormick confirmed publicly that Katie was there that day and that Katie's account as relayed through her family does not support the version of events the friends presented. According to her family's public statements, Nolan's friends were pressuring him to end his conversation with her so he could return with them. Katie assumed he was heading toward the boat. She got home safely that day on a separate boat. She did not see what happened after they parted ways. Witnesses exist. Some are too afraid to speak. And the one piece of physical evidence that could answer questions when witnesses cannot, as of today, it has not reached the people running the official investigation. That piece of evidence is Nolan Wells' phone. Benjamin Crump confirmed to ABC News that the phone is a key piece of evidence in this case. He described the fact that it was in the possession of Nolan's friends as suspicious. He said the family retrieved it. He said he believed what was on it mattered. What he did not do was hand it over. According to ABC News, as of the reporting published on July the 13th, Crump has not turned the phone over to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Ledbetter confirmed that directly to the outlet. Trump's position stated on Friday is that the family intends to turn it over, but only after they have completed their own independent review. That is their right. Families retain attorneys precisely to conduct parallel investigations. That is not a crime. That is a legal strategy. But here is what that means in practical terms. There is an active death investigation being run by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and the piece of physical evidence the family's own attorney has called significant. The phone his mother says was missing content she would have expected to find. That phone is not in the hands of the people conducting the official investigation. Nolan's mother alleged the missing content was Snapchat activity. That allegation has not been independently verified. What has been verified is the possession. What has been confirmed by two separate named sources, the attorney and the sheriff, both on record with ABC News, is that the phone has not been transferred. There are investigators working this case right now. There is a phone that may carry information relevant to that investigation. As of the family's press conference on July the 15th, both sides have agreed to a joint inspection of the phone. We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts. The people that I spoke to are not talking with law enforcement here. We're going to be trying to get them to cooperate with each other because we want to make sure the narrative which has been put out that is false is going to be corrected. Crump's team and law enforcement reviewing the same evidence simultaneously. Whether that review produces answers is still unknown, but for the first time since this case began, the evidence and the investigators are in the same room. While the phone sits undelivered, and the witness list stays incomplete, the official investigation took a visible step forward today. Nolan Wells' parents met with the Jackson County District Attorney on July the 15th. A press conference followed. The family's attorneys, Ben Crump, Liza Park, and Eric Hers, stood before cameras after that meeting. Following that press conference, the family's attorneys confirmed that the Nolan Wells case will be presented to a grand jury. According to Wall TV, the district attorney's office will convene a grand jury once their investigation is concluded. A grand jury does not mean charges have been filed, but it means formal criminal proceedings are now the next step. That is a significant legal threshold this case has now crossed. While those questions sit unanswered, the investigation is moving on two tracks. The state of Mississippi performed an autopsy the day after Nolan's body was identified. Those results are not final. Officials say they are still waiting on a toxicology report, and no cause or manner of death has been determined. The family is not waiting on it alone. CNN has confirmed that Nolan's body was transported to Washington, D.C. for an independent autopsy. A private pathologist working separately from the state. 2 autopsies, 2 sets of findings. Those independent autopsy results were expected last Friday. According to Locks, they have been delayed. Crump says his team will release them as soon as they are available. Eventually, 2 reports. Sheriff Ledbetter confirmed publicly that his department has been in contact with the FBI as the investigation continues. Additionally, dispatch audio connected to the night of July 4th has begun circulating as part of ongoing public records requests. The full contents of that audio are still emerging. Investigators continue to gather physical and digital evidence. At a press conference in New York on Friday, Al Sharpton stood alongside Nolan's parents. His position was measured. He said the family was not bringing race into this, but they were not discounting it either. That distinction matters. It is the difference between demanding accountability and demanding a specific conclusion. Nolan's parents have been clear from the beginning. They want transparency. They want truth, not a verdict shaped by what people online decided before the facts were in. That is worth sitting with. This case has generated more noise in 1 week than most investigations see in a year. Some of that noise pointed toward something real. Some of it pointed toward a photograph from June the 27th. The actual difficulty, is telling one from the other. If this video gave you something the other videos didn't, share it. The most important thing right now is that verified information reaches the people who care about Nolan. That is how you help. The pool party theory may have collapsed, but the questions that were there before it and will be there after it have not gone anywhere. Nolan Xavier Wells deserves answers built on what is true, not what went viral. If this case develops, and it will, we will be back with the next verified update. Until then, share this with someone who needs the accurate version of this story. Like the video if it gave you something the other coverage didn't, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Which unanswered question do you think investigators need to address first?